Hi there. So before we get into the warm-up for today, I want to quickly go over this question from yesterday. I was hoping there was an easier way to do it than what I thought, and there is not, so I'm just going to explain it to you. So it says a game show airs on TV 5 days per week. Each day, a prize is randomly placed behind one of the two doors. The contestant wins the prize by selecting the current door. What's the probability that exactly 2 of the 5 contestants will win a prize during the week? Express your first answer as a fraction in simplest form, and then round to the percent answer to the nearest hundredth. So the first thing is you got to figure out what's the sample space, and then like how many of them are going to just be exactly 2 winners. So because there are 5 days and each day has 2 options, my sample space would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which we discussed yesterday. That's 32. That's the total amount of sample space that goes in the bottom. Now to figure out how many of them have exactly 2, you're going to actually have to build your sample space. The good thing is we don't have to build them all the way through because we only want the ones that have 2 wins. So let's say the first 2 spaces are wins. If they win the first day, they win the second day, and then they lose the remaining days. That would be what one sample space would look like with exactly 2 wins. So then I can kind of go in a pattern. If I keep the win in the first spot, I can move it 1 by 1 to the right. That would be a second way. Then if you win, you lose, you lose, you win, you lose. And then win, lose, 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 win. So that would be one option if you won on day 1. There's 4 of those. Now what happens if you lose on day 1, but you win on day 2? You can then win on 3 and lose again. You can lose on day 1, win on day 2, lose on day 3, win and lose again. Lose, win, lose, lose, win. So we're just rotating that second win through. What if you lose the first day and the second day? You win the third day, you win the fourth day, you'd have to lose again. Lose, lose, win the third day, lose the fourth day, win the last day. And then we'd go to, if you lose the first day, the second day, the third day, you would win the next 2. If you count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there are 10 ways to get exactly 2 wins. And then this 10 over 32 becomes 5 over 16, which was the answer. 5 divided by 16, move your decimal twice, and the decimal percent is 31.25. So if these were to come back on a quiz or test, of course, we would have more practice, and there was no more on the homework from last night, or there will be for the homework tonight. So we're going to move into the warm-up for today. So the 12-1 warm-up starts with number 1. It says a bag contains 5 cards numbered 1 through 5. You flip a coin and draw a card at random from the bag. Find the number of possible outcomes in the sample space. So the first thing you're doing is flipping your coin, and the second thing you're doing is picking the number. There are 2 options to flipping a coin, and there's the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 options for your card, which means the number of possible outcomes would be 10. Then it says list the possible outcomes. So I can get, let's start with the coin. If I land on heads, I can also pull a 1. I can pull a 2. I could pull a 3. I could pull a 4. I could pull a 5. If I land on tails, I could do a tails with a 1, a tails with a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. And there's our 10 outcomes. C says, what's the probability that a coin lands on heads and you draw a card with an odd number? So heads with an odd number would be heads with 1, with 3, and with 5. That's 3 out of your 10 total possibilities. All right, number 2 says a bag contains 6 white marbles, 5 red marbles, and 5 blue marbles. A marble is drawn from the bag and replaced 32 times. The table shows the results. For which color is the experimental probability of drawing the color the same as the theoretical? So to figure out the theoretical probability, we're going to put the number of each of these different types of marbles over the total amount of marbles. So there's 16 total, because 6 plus 5 plus 5 would be 16. So for the white marbles, you would expect to get 6 out of the 16. For the red marbles, you would expect to get 5 out of the 16. And for the blue marbles, you would expect to get 5 out of the 16. The 6 out of 16 can be reduced. This would be 3/8. That would be 3/8. The other ones are going to stay as 5/16. So then if you look at the actual results, each of these are going to be out of 32 times. So 12 out of 32 times, 12 out of 32 times, and 8 out of 32. 12 out of 32 would be, 4 goes into both of those, 3/8, 3/8, and 2. Well, actually, it goes in evenly. It would be 1/4. So the white is the one that actually matches your theoretical. And 3 says you throw a dart at the board shown. Your dart is equally likely to hit any point inside the circular board. What's the probability that your dart does not land inside the square? So we want to find the area outside the square, which is that green area. We're going to find the area of the green edge over the area of the whole thing. So the green edge is going to be the circle minus the square inside, and obviously the hole is going to be the circle. So the circle, if the whole diameter is 12, then the radius would be 6. The circle there is going to be 6 squared times pi, or 36 pi. And the square, if my diameter is 12, to find, you can actually do this a couple different ways. You could find the side length using a 45, 45, 90 triangle, or even easier, because a square is a rhombus, you can use 1/2 diagonal 1, which is 12, times diagonal 2, which is also 12. So I'd get 6 times 12, or 72. Again, I could have used the whole diagonal would be 12, and then I could have used your 45, 45, 90 triangle to work backwards and get the 2 side lengths and then multiply them together. But the rhombus is definitely easier. So if I actually type that in, 36 pi, into the calculator, I'd get 113.097, so 0.10, minus 72. And I get 41.1. That's going to be the area of the green. And then the area of the whole circle was that 36 pi. So 41.1 over 36 times pi was that 113.10, which is 0.36, or 36%. All right, that wraps up the warm-up. Please take the time to submit the warm-up so you get credit for today's assignment. And then use the remaining time to work on the 12.1 day 2 homework. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.